Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every fortnight we get together to talk about movies, TV and online content and help you answer the question, is this the number one media podcast in Australia for Netflix movies? Maybe. Joining me today, the mini reviewer himself, Nicholas Pryor.
I'm here. And you also said every week.
No, I'm pretty sure I said every fortnight.
We'll just have to go back onto the replay for that one.
Also joining me today, the long-form reviewer, Dylan Blight.
The long form review. Hello. How are we all?
The guy who likes to read his own voice.
What?
At least it is his own voice. How about we talk about what we've been watching these last couple of weeks? The big movie I saw in the past fortnight, Mission Impossible Fallout. Me and Dylan both seen it. What about you, Nick? Have you gotten a chance to check it out?
I have not, because Stacey refuses to go see anything with Tom Cruise in it.
Okay.
Why? What's the story behind that?
She just doesn't like Tom Cruise.
Jeez. She should be more respectful of other people's belief systems.
Oh, he's an absolute fuckwit, but he's a good actor.
Okay. Dylan, what'd you think?
Loved is probably a bit fun. Really liked it. Everyone's praising it as the best one of the franchise. I would put it as the third best of the franchise. It probably has some of the best action scenes of the franchise. And character-wise, having it be a direct sequel to the last one, which is, carrying over the bad guy and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's the first time they've done that. So
the first time, and I appreciate that as someone who just prefers their storytelling to have one big, continuation type thing, because it makes it feel worthwhile watching the other ones if it's a bigger story being told, not the James Bond effect, which is every movie it's like a new thing, and it's like, did anything happen in that last movie matter to this one? No, doesn't really make a difference. Okay. But yeah, I'd still say that Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation are better movies, but some of the stunts and stuff in this one are just worth watching for us. Although at some stage, I'm sitting there watching, and no spoilers, but at some stage I am sitting there watching the part where he's on a motorcycle, helmetless, and he's chasing someone, and he's going through that big roundabout that's famous from National Lampoon's Vacation or whatever it is.
In London?
No, it's in Italy.
Whatever. It's one of those big fuck off ones though.
Yeah, massive.
And he's going through the traffic the wrong way.
It might be France.
And
No, I'm pretty sure it's London, because every time they go around in National Lampoons, they go, oh, there's the Big Ben. There's the Big Ben.
It might have been another big roundabout.
It might have been a different one, but it was basically, it looked the same. And as I'm sitting there in the cinema watching it, my head's just thinking, is this necessary, Tom? Because I'm scared for you now. Like,
he's not a young buck anymore.
No.
I mean, he
And
did break his ankle.
He's probably got this jacket or something on there as soon as they come off it, like a big airbag goes around him.
I don't know if that's... And then...
That's a thing.
Like the skydiving stuff, and then the scene where he breaks his foot is so clearly, you can see that's where he breaks his foot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to break your foot, you might as well use the footage.
Look, he has his faith in Xanadu. Nothing's going to hurt him.
Maybe. But yeah, I like it. I just don't think it's as good as... I don't know what picked... I want to know, because for some reason this one picked up so well. Everyone's just been talking about it out of left field. I don't know what happened. Was there a marketing thing? Was it the fact that Henry Cavill was in it?
I think it was Henry Cavill, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did they keep the scene in where he grows the pocket in the sleeves?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
I believe he has actually I can't remember, but he just has whatever variation of that shirt on for some reason. Yes,
he loads up his arms. I really liked it. I think it's those last three movies are pretty even. I think the thing this one does better is it builds to the best action sequence at the end, whereas the other ones probably didn't. They're like more in the middle. They were the big eye-catching sequences. I thought Henry Cavill was great as the foil for Tom Cruise. I really liked the Sean Harris character this time. I went back and watched Rogue Nation after because I would obviously this is like a direct sequel. You need to see Rogue Nation to pretty much understand.
Won't understand this movie if you haven't seen Rogue Nation.
Yeah, and he is much more menacing looking in this film than he was in the last one. That beard makes a huge difference.
I'll say this for him: looks more menacing. Although I think they made his character dumber or seem dumber. Like some of the choices he makes aren't in line with the kind of character he seems from the Rogue Nation movie.
To be, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but the plot is a lot more convoluted and doesn't really make sense when you think about it.
But his plot in this movie is more just straight up revenge, without going into spoilers.
Yeah,
Whereas the plot in Rogue Nation is very much. I mean, he's a terrorist, and nothing he says makes sense because we're not fucking terrorists trying to take over the world. But he's still kind of calm, collected, very much understands what his whole mantra about destroying the world to make it a better place. You're like, I don't understand that, but at least you understand. And then in this one, it's more just, I want revenge, which it doesn't seem in line with the character we met in Rogue Nation. And then he makes a couple really dumb decisions in the last act of the movie, I feel.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But yeah, some of the stunts in this are great. I really enjoyed the fight scene in the bathroom. That was really impressive. Although it seems like that bathroom was made of like plasterboard. They're
just very strong people that can punch through everything. Although when you're seeing Tom Cruise fighting next to Henry Cavill, they no matter what they do, they can't hide how small that motherfucker is next to him. They try, but they use these wide angle shots, and you're just like, he is tiny.
They kind of played into it in the last film where they were like fighting at the opera, and there was the guy was like towering over Tom Cruise in that one. So, yeah.
One of my other problems I have with this movie, it's not really a problem, this movie is just all action, right? So it's got all these action scenes. It doesn't really have one Mission Impossible moment though. Unless you want to count the finale of the movie as the impossible thing for them to pull off. Every other movie has one big mission that's deemed impossible and they have to plan for it like a heist type thing. And the last movie, it was like that really cool, the water scene, diving through that hole, all that sort of stuff. That was their big plan and do that moment.
Scheme thing.
This movie doesn't have one of those moments.
No.
It is just a straight up action movie without any of those. And I kind of missed the planning and all that going into and then pulling off the impossible mission.
Yeah. So I think probably this series is probably the best action series going around at the moment. Would you agree with that?
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Throwing shade at Fast and the Furious.
No, I of course love Fast and Furious, but it doesn't hold anything to the ground. They're fucking shooting cars out of planes with parachutes on in the big look. Here's the big difference. They shot cars out of a plane, and of course, none of those people were actually in those cars. In this movie, they shoot Tom Cruise out of a plane. He's really flying through the fucking sky.
Do you think John Wick puts it through its paces?
No, because I John Wick's 2 movies, and I don't think the second one is up to par of the first one.
Yeah.
So it's automatically hit miss for me. I didn't like the second one as much.
Yeah, and for you to be 6 movies in and still be hitting high marks, I can't think of many other series that have doing that.
And if you look back at them, the biggest comparison I have with Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious, and people, of course, are going to hate making any sorts of comparisons, but they do have one similarity in that they're both franchises that picked up steam halfway through or like 3 or 4 movies in.
Is it a bit of revisionist history? Because I seem to remember through the years not keeping up with it that a lot of people hated Mission Impossible.
Number 2. Everybody, 2 kind of killed the franchise until J.J. Abrams came back.
Here's the thing with number 2. Terrible Mission Impossible movie. Fun B-grade John Woo movie.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Because it has all the traits of slow motion, hair waving, seagulls fucking flying everywhere, all this sort of shit, crazy villains, whatever else, but it just doesn't work for the franchise. And even then, if you go back and watch the first Mission Impossible movie, I don't think it holds up particularly well. It's just, the first Mission Impossible movie is them just adapting the TV show, not really having their own grounds to it. The formulaic spy thriller, face swapping, what is everyone betrays everyone, who's it, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
It's okay. It's not amazing. It's not until we get to the third movie where JJ comes in and he introduces all these new characters that have carried on through to now, and elements and the more crazy stuff like sabotage, all this other stuff. That's when it picks up. And then when we get to Ghost Protocol, when you get him climbing off the tower in the sandstorm, that's where everyone was like, okay, this is a franchise. This is it.
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol is where I point to and say that's the movie where the upswing kind of starts. Three saves the franchise.
Yep.
Because 2 was downhill. 3 saves the franchise. One of Philip Seymour Hoffman's best performances, as far as I care to say. He's fucking fantastic.
That opening, oh man, that's great.
Yeah. And then Ghost Protocol brings the franchise into what it is now, which is this crazy action franchise.
It's pretty much turned into whatever Tom Cruise stunts he wants to do. Because that's pretty much how this movie was made, apparently. He went, oh, what stunts do I want to do? And then they Frankenstein the story backwards from there. So,
well, when Tom Cruise broke his leg or whatever, and he was off, Christopher McQuarrie was like, "Oh, cool, time to finish the script." Like that's how it was working. So
It's wonder if the insurance companies allow him to keep on doing it.
I'm pretty sure he's got enough money to cover the insurance.
There's a story that apparently he fired one of his managers one time because they told him he couldn't do a stunt or something. He was like, "You're fired. Don't tell me what to do. Bye."
Yeah, that sounds about right. Moving on, Nick, you've been watching the latest season of Orange is the New Black. What are your thoughts?
It's time for it to end.
Yeah?
Like, individual moments were alright, but it just feels like it's just plodding along. Like, there's nothing really happening. Like, a lot of the characters are wasted, and they're thrown into situations that don't really make sense, and it's just, it's time for it to end, I think. It should have ended last season when they got taken out of the prison, like how they Oz ended.
Spoilers.
Yeah. That's fine. Does it leave it on a note where it could have ended this season, or is it? They set up for next season.
It could have easily wrapped up this season, I think.
Do you think they will?
No, they've already said they're doing the next one. Is the last one.
So Orange is the New Black, available on Netflix. Another thing I watched on Netflix is the animated film Flavors of Youth from the production company behind Your Name. It's like a short. It's like only like an hour, but it's like 3 animated shorts all put together. Basically, it revolves around the idea of youth and reclaiming or reminiscing about youth. All pretty good stories. I enjoyed. I think the second story, which is about like a model, is probably the strongest of the 3. The version I saw was dubbed, and in the third one in particular, I don't think the voiceover was very good, but it's good. You should check it out. Just be warned, do not watch the first episode if you're hungry, because there's some food porn in there. It looks great, and I was starving. Yeah. So Flavors of Youth. Also rewatched Your Name after that, because there's like this bridge in the third episode, which is like the same, almost identical to a bridge that they use in Your Name, like prominently. And Your Name is still great. I don't know what Dylan was talking about last episode.
I didn't say it was bad.
No, I think watching it back, I think you need that first third that you had a problem with in order to have the second 2/3.
Well, you do.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I have to say it was good.
Okay. Yeah.
You gotta eat your broccolis and your greens to be a grown boy, but it doesn't mean they're good, you know?
Yeah. All right. So you've been recently watching, Dylan, the latest season of Better Call Saul. How's that been going so far?
It started again last week. It's one of the best shows on TV, and that's it. I feel like every year it comes back. I get super excited. I sit down to watch it. I'm like, fuck, this show's amazing. Last week I sat down and watched the episode. I was like, that was amazing. Great episode. Make the mistake of always looking on Twitter. How boring, so slow. Where's the action? What's this? All this sort of stuff. Breaking Bad was better. And every time I'm like, what the fuck? These people that are saying Breaking Bad had more action, I'm like, do they only remember the last season or something
Probably.
like that? Because Breaking Bad was, I don't know if anyone knows who watched Breaking Bad, but that show was slow as shit a lot of the time. It didn't have that much action until the final season and a half-ish or around then, or just random action moments throughout other seasons. They're a character-driven drama at heart with the action set pieces coming in second. But Better Call Saul, some of the best acting every year, consistently some of the best acting on TV, as far as I'm concerned. Jonathan Banks should win a fucking Emmy at some point for this show. That's all I care. That's all I care to say.
What season is it into at the moment?
4?
So I only watched the first one.
Oh, you're one of these people, are you, Nick?
No, I really enjoyed it. I just haven't really gotten back around to it. Because the time I watched it, I was watching it on UK Netflix, and then the whole Netflix scan, or them blocking all VPNs and stuff, and I just never really got back around to it.
That's weird, because I remember when Stan came to Australia, Stan came to Australia just in time for them to be like, we've got Better Call Saul. This is why you should pay for Stan. And that's the reason I got Stan week one that it started streaming here.
Yeah, I think
Better Call Saul.
I don't think I got Stan until much later. And then by that time, the momentum had worn off.
Oh dear. We should get back to it.
I
It's
will.
great. If people are watching it just for tie-ins to Breaking Bad, that's not a reason to watch it. If you're watching it solely to see him reach
Sorely.
if you're watching it to see him just become Saul Goodman, you're watching it for the wrong reasons. Just go watch Breaking Bad again, I guess. But yeah,
Cool. So another show that's recently come back that Nick's been watching, Russell Coit's All Aussie Adventures.
I have.
Yeah.
fucking hell. Of course you have.
I love the original run of that show.
Yeah,
of course
it
you
originally came out, I think, 2001, 2002.
Yeah, I think I was still
There's only
primary
like
school.
14 episodes or so, but
Yeah.
I remember it being on reruns
Really?
constantly. And like,
I swear, like the amount of times we'd go down to my Nan and Pop's place and would all be watching it on TV, and that felt like 2 years of my life of it constantly being on, and I don't recall watching a repeat episode. Oh, my mind's just. It seemed like there was a never-ending
It was
amount
like
of episodes.
That's like Faulty Towers with me. Like I always go to my nan's and my uncle that used to live with her, like used to record it, and I feel like I watched all the tapes all that time, but I always felt like I was watching a completely new episode when there's only one season of it.
Yeah, one season.
Yeah,
That's weird. Huh.
yeah. So how's the new series hold up? Is it
it
as funny
is
as the original?
exactly the same.
Is that good or bad?
It's if you liked it, you'll like it. If you didn't, it's exactly the same stuff. It's like the same him misspeaking, and then the physical humor with him knocking stuff over and blowing stuff up and all that kind of. It's just the same wackiness.
But do you think that holds up in 2018?
Kids these days.
I can feel it starting to wear thin. I guess it's just like it doesn't seem original. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they had an opportunity to evolve his humour, I guess, but they just didn't take it as just a rehash of what he's already done.
Are you going to keep watching?
Yeah, I'll keep watching it.
All right.
What's a weird time to bring that show back?
Yeah, it is. Although I do remember
it always
going to-
it started back in popularity when the GIF or the short video of him doing the dancing in the dirt, and then they kind of just spiraled out of there, I guess.
Yeah.
Well.
Old things don't become new again, I guess.
Yeah. I guess.
How about we talk about this awesome movie that came out on Netflix recently, The Package. Now, if you were watching our React
Let's
stream
do it.
last week, we reacted to the trailer. I think we both gave it 2 thumbs up.
I think so.
I'm sure, and our audience didn't agree, is what I remember. So, do you want to give your thoughts? Do you want to reveal the plot, or do you want to keep it? Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll reveal the plot this way. When we watched the trailer, now there's 2 trailers. I've since watched the second one. The second one doesn't hide the plot at all. Have you seen this, Ash?
No, I don't think so.
All right. The second trailer they put out is just straight up, here's what the movie's about. The first trailer, they were trying to be very coy. They're trying to be all secret. You know, they're like, did he cut his dick off? And is the package his penis in that cooler? And we watched the trailer, and at the end of it, I'm still like, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to pull a fast one, and they're trying to make it out like it is his dick, but it's not actually his dick, and we're all going to be fooled. It's his dick. He cuts his dick off. That's the plot of the movie. He cuts his dick off. It's in a cooler. Some dude shows up on a helicopter. He's like, hey, I'm going to take you away. We're going to take this cooler, put your dick back on you. The helicopter dude disappears. Then they look in the cooler. They've got the dick cooler still. Then they're like, oh, fuck. Now on a road trip to get the dick to our friend in the hospital whose body is decaying away to the point that it smells at some point. And that's a disgusting joke, but imagine that.
I think I talked about it with you the other day. That scene where he does cut off his dick is one of the funniest things I think I've seen this year.
It's so funny, but so gross at the same time. Because they don't hide it. He cuts his dick off, he turns around, there's blood everywhere. And then say what you found so funny though, because it is funny. The fucking thunder.
Yeah, he's on the ground saying, oh, I cut my dick off. And there's like thunderclaps and lightning, but there was no thunder or rain before.
It's very low grade humor, in case you can't tell by the plot of the movie.
But it works.
It works to a point.
It just seems like it coming out of nowhere. Like there was no build up to it, and then it's just out.
That's what happens with a lot of these Netflix films, though.
Yeah. It kind of works, though, because, it works for us, and it must work for a billion other people, too, because it's like, oh, we're doing reacts. Look on Netflix. Here's a trailer for a thing. Watch it. Laugh. Oh, it's out in a week.
Yeah.
And then it's in your brain for a week, like, that movie's out soon. I open up Netflix. There it is. Oh, yeah, watch the trailer for that the other day. Better watch it now.
What was the budget for it?
Not a lot, I'd imagine.
$15.
It was a very no-name cast, done by the guys, I think written by the guys behind Workaholics. I know one of the guys was in it.
Yeah, they produced it and was in it. It was written by, I can't remember, but directed by the guy who did Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, though.
Yeah.
I wrote a review.
Yep.
I gave it a 5.
Find it at explosionnetwork.com.
Yes. And I gave it a 5. And with that said, there's still some part. 5 sounds like, oh, it's terrible, Dylan. It's bad. But it's like, I'm writing a review. I got to put a score on it. It's 5. With that said, though, I did enjoy. There were several parts that were rather funny. There were other parts where I'm just like, this is so stupid. But then come the end of the movie, I couldn't help, as the credits roll, just go, you just did an entire movie that's one huge dick joke. And that deserves some level of applause.
Yep.
Because for 90 minutes, it was disgusting, crude, horrible, but at the same time, quite funny.
Yeah.
And I also want to give props, because instead of doing a movie where the whole movie's a dick joke and they just never showed a dick, they're a dick all over this movie. Left, right, and center. It's like, if you're watching this and think you're not going to see a cut-off appendage flying through the air at all times in the movie, that is exactly what you'll be seeing. And it's sometimes funny, and sometimes it's quite disgusting, because you're like, that is a dick that's been cut off, and it's covered in spew and rocks and all sorts of shit and dirt. But there it is. Now it's in someone's mouth. He's trying to suck snake venom out of it. That's fine. This is a movie that I'm watching.
I think you also brought it up in your review, but Eduardo Franco, the scenes where he's in the hospital, are some of the funniest parts of that movie.
They are the funniest parts of the movie. This, so they cut back, but they cut back in between the kids who were like trying to get the dick and the dude who got the dick cut off. And now this guy's from, what the fuck? I wrote it in there. I can't remember. What's that?
American
Netflix?
Vandal?
American Vandal. Yeah. So apparently this kid's from American Vandal, which I haven't watched, but now I need to, solely for him. Solely for this guy, because he made the movie. Every time they cut to him laying in the hospital bed and this woman walks in who's the nurse, and she'd be like, it's okay, we've got to like do an operation to basically like sew it up, or whatever, like save yourself before you die from infection or something. And there's one scene there where he's like, it's okay, well, I still have time. He's like looking at this flower, and she's like, you didn't actually think that flower was like in
Magically
parts your
connected to your penis.
magically attached to your penis, and as it was falling apart in the sunlight, that was actually a timer. And he's like, oh. It's hit and miss, honestly. It's I mean, it's on Netflix, so if you've got Netflix, it's there. The decision on if you should or should not watch it is based solely on, can you handle the crude dick humor some of it is disgusting. I mean, there was several parts where even I, who I don't think is too crude, was sitting there and did like a little bit of a head shake of, oh, okay, that was a thing I just saw, but that's
there is a elongated penis cleaning scene that probably was a bit unnecessary.
And also when they introduce another character who also has his penis missing, and some funny scenes there.
So good.
But it's mindless entertainment. So
Yeah, just good
the
fun.
girl from Blockers is in it.
Yeah,
I think she's going to go on to be quite a star. I think she's like,
I think she's
one of my standout actresses of the year so far.
yeah, Australian too. So definitely
Yeah, I'm
going to be.
biased.
Is that the one from Emo Movie?
Yes. That one.
Yeah. Less said about that, the better. Moving on. Nick, you watched the movie The Foreigner with Jackie Chan?
I did. Yes.
Yes. What'd you think?
I really enjoyed it, but mostly because I am interested in kind of like the political intrigue that the plot's wrapped up in. But if you've ever seen Edge of Darkness with Mel Gibson, it's pretty much the exact same movie. It's the same man with nothing to lose, avenging his dead daughter.
And Edge of Darkness reminds me, or was based on something like that.
Yeah, Edge of Darkness is based on a TV show called Edge of Darkness, and The Foreigner is based off a novel called The Chinaman, and they were both directed by the same guy. So,
oh my fucking god, that's too much.
But yeah, I was like, I saw a trailer for it, and I completely missed it at the movies. It like come and gone like that, and then it was on Stan, so I thought I'd give it a watch. I really enjoyed it, and Pierce Brosnan was really well in it, and it was good to see Jackie Chan taking on a serious, more grounded, darker role, I guess, as opposed to the normal, like, comedy action he always does.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of any, like, serious roles he's done in a while.
Back in the day.
Yeah, for a while, like Police Story and that, but...
Yeah, those movies.
Yeah.
But once he hit the Hollywood scene, it's all just
much
action comedy movies.
Yeah.
Not there's anything wrong with those. Some of them are good.
No, but it was good. It was a good change of pace for him to have something with a bit of gravitas.
Yep. So another Netflix movie I watched recently is a movie called Like Father, starring Kristen Bell and Kelsey Grammer. Pretty much the plot is she gets left at the altar because she's like a workaholic and doesn't. Her partner decides at the altar that he can't deal with her workaholicness. And then she proceeds to get drunk with her father who left her at a young age. And they end up on a honeymoon cruise.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do.
Excuse me? Yeah. I beg your pardon?
They end up on her honeymoon cruise. Like,
yep.
Yeah. And then family drama ensues.
Okay.
Where do you think it was going?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I thought it was...
No.
Dylan thought they were going to bang.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what direction was going, but...
Some people... there's a lot of jokes about that because people they're in the honeymoon suite. Everybody thinks they're, a silver fox and a great whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It's directed by Lauren Miller Rogen, who I think is Seth Rogen's wife, who also stars in the film. I enjoyed it. It is pretty much an ad for cruises.
Yeah.
It looks pretty great to be on a cruise like that. It's cool
Produced
stuff.
by P&O.
No, it was much fancier than P&O. Like one of those super big ones. Yeah. But yeah, really impressive. And touching and stuff. So, father-daughter relationships or
I saw it come up on Netflix. I wanted to watch it, but after what you told me, you've dissuaded me on it.
Really? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I know. I enjoyed it. Something else that's been on Netflix, Dark Tourist, that Dylan's been watching. What do you think of that?
I watched that show in like 24 hours flat, I think.
Yeah?
Quite enjoyed it. It's a 8-episode series. I don't have the dude's name in front of me. I'll fucking bring it up or else I'll feel bad. Find it for me. David Ferrier. Right, there we are. David Ferrier, right. He did a movie a couple years ago that I'm a really big fan of, and I've tried recommending ever since I watched it many times to people. We called Tickled, which is one of.
Oh, I know of that one.
Yeah, it's on Netflix now. They added it around the same time that Dark Tourist went up.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because they're like, here's the movie he did. Yeah, Tickled is still one of the most crazy, interesting, random documentary experiences I've ever had. Because I saw it on the iTunes store, 99-cent rental a couple years ago, and I was like, I read the premise. I was like, investigates a tickle group or something. I'm like, sure, whatever, I'll watch it. I was just in the mood for documentaries, so I was just looking for something. I watched it knowing fucking barely nothing, and I came out there and like, whoa, that movie goes places you would not have expected to go at all. And the dude's New Zealand, which is also kind of cool to a degree because you don't see that many New Zealand hosts or documentary people, I guess.
Yep.
There are many jokes throughout Dark Tourist. He goes at one stage, and someone calls him the cheap Louis Theroux. They're like, you're just trying to be the cheap Louis Theroux. He's like, I can get that a lot actually, but thanks, I guess. But so Dark Tourist is him going around to a bunch of different countries, each episode set in a different country, and then he does a bunch of stuff there, which is dark touristy stuff. So it's people looking into Manson, investigating like ritual tribe stuff in African countries. There's a couple episodes where he goes to these cities in, I can't remember the names of the actual countries, but you know, North Korea type countries where their walls are basically closed off to the public. And some of them, like one of them, he gets in under the guise of being, I'm here as a sports journalist. I'm here to do something on this sporting event that the country's holding. So they let him in under that. And that's how he gets into the country. And there's this one part where this dude's like showing him this like 16-lane highway. It's like, look how big the highway is. Look how many cars we can fit there. And there's no traffic because the country is just, there's no one there. The airport that he comes through, there's no one there. There's like levels of freakiness and scariness to the idea of these huge places out there like that, where they just don't let people in, and it's really, really odd. So that stuff is really odd, and then there's other stuff that's quite scary. Goes to Japan and goes around with a Gyro counter on like a tour where after the tsunami or whatever it was, like 5 years ago, or was it 5 years? But they go around, there's waste everywhere and all this sort of stuff. And they get to a point where people on the bus start freaking out and stuff because it's up to like 16 point something or whatever. And apparently 0.4 is like the maximum before it starts becoming unsafe for you to be there. And he's like on there, and these people are like, we need to turn around and go. And he's like, keep going. And that episode's also interesting because it shows how different Japanese people there look at the dangers of stuff. Because the guide that he uses when they're looking at the gyro counter stuff, he doesn't get scared when it gets up to 16 point whatever stuff, but he takes the same guide to that forest where people go to hang themselves. I can't remember the actual name. Like the one Logan Paul got in trouble for at the start of this year. He goes there.
Suicide Forest.
Yeah, Suicide Forest. And the same guide is really scared of that because of spirits. He truly believes the spirits and stuff there, which I just find interesting because he's like, the day before when they're looking at the radioactive stuff, he's like, oh yeah, you could die any day. What's to be scared of? Radioactive, it's fine. Goes to the forest next day, spirits, fuck no. Fuck that shit. They'll get you. So that's interesting. I think the first episode is the worst of Dark Tourist. I remember watching that one and being a bit like, didn't really feel anything. But then the second episode, they go to Japan, and that's the one that really piqued my interest. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on board. And then from second episode through to eighth, I enjoyed all of it.
How long is each episode?
Like 40 minutes, I suppose, around that time. So really enjoyable. The last episode, I with this type of thing, you got to wonder, like, what do you place at the start? Because you kind of want to start the series with a bang, and I don't think they do. They probably could have moved some of the more crazy stuff around, I suppose. But then also the thing they end the season on, I'm like, oh, that's not as interesting as some of the other things that they could have. But all in all, 8 episodes. It's interesting stuff. Some of it, if you've watched series like this before, you would have seen. Like they go to a tribe somewhere or whatever, and they're slitting goat necks and sacrifice and all this, ritualistic stuff like that. Which I watched John Safran go for all that shit.
Yeah, I was
a kid.
gonna mention it sounds a lot like
Yeah.
John Safran's religion-based one.
Yes. So some of the episodes do cover some of that stuff. Like the whole series isn't based around the religious stuff, but they do cover some of that.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, I've seen this before, but it's been a while and it's different hosts showing me around, so it didn't feel too samey. But I mean, if you haven't seen that type of stuff before, I'm sure it's going to be more shocking. But I'm like, yeah, they slit the goat's necks, they do a dance, whatever. I mean, religion, hey? Like, what are you going to do? Pray to whatever you want, I guess. But yeah, it's a good show.
Good show.
But watch Tickled also.
Watch Tickles. All right. Well, you're going to pick it for what do you want? What do we end up watching? 1 week?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Something else you finally watched, Nick. The Nice Guys.
That's another one that I really was keen on seeing at the talkies, but just never got round to seeing it, and then on Stan, so I decided to watch it.
Yep. What'd you think?
I loved it. It was amazing. The chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe was fantastic, and then Ryan Gosling's daughter in it, she was great as well, and just
Annalise
Australian
Rice
girl.
or something.
was she? Oh, she was Australian.
Yeah, she's in that. There's some Australian movie coming out soon. I think Women in Black Dresses or something. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plot was absurd, just larger than life characters, and it was just all thrown together in a melting pot and come
My
out
question
great.
is, for this, have you ever watched, fuck, I just lost the name of it. The other movie that he did with
Shane
Robert
Black.
Downey Jr.?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I
yeah.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw
Because
that
this
one
movie's
time,
very
yeah.
much
Yeah, very
same
similar. Yeah,
sort of tone, sort of stuff.
I think it being in the 70s adds this extra
Certain.
layer of flavour to it.
I love The Nice Guys so much. I can't, what year did it come out?
2017, I think.
2016. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was like 3rd or 2nd or something like that. My top 5 for that year.
Yeah.
And I still reckon over the last 5 years, I've laughed more in that movie than 99% of actual straight up just comedy movies.
Yeah,
The scene, I remember, because I watched it in cinema and I was laughing so fucking loud to the point that like tears were coming out of my eyes. And then I remember when I picked it up on Blu-ray when it released, I'm like, there's no way I laugh so much at the same scene because I know what the joke's going to be. And I lost my shit laughing again. And it's the one where, I don't want to spoil it too much because I want people to watch it. It's one where he rolls down a hill next to a tree, goes light up a cigarette.
yeah.
Yes, that one I fucking laughed. I don't know. I swear the movie was like well past that joke 10 minutes down the road, and I was still sitting in the cinema like, like just laughing so much.
And the
It was
crazy
great.
thing about it is how good it is, and I've literally never heard anyone talk about it.
We should start Explosion Network a year early.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Movie of the year that year.
It was actually one of the movies I was most looking forward to that year solely because of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang as well.
So I hadn't realised that he did that as well.
Yeah, because that's another one of those movies that I'm constantly like underrated, underappreciated movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Shane Black is a name for me that I recognise the name, but I don't realise what he's connected to
Iron
until I
Man
look
3.
it up.
Yeah, fuck off, please
Yeah,
no.
Predator. He was in Predator, and he's making
he's
the new
directing
Predator.
He's making the
Predator.
new one. Yeah,
Yeah.
the only reason that those new Predator trailers, which I'm like, meh, whatever. The only reason I'm not completely against it is because Shane Black's doing it, and I have so much faith in him. And even if the movie turns
There
out
is
bad,
that
it would-
awesome Keegan-Michael Key joke. I can't remember what
there
it was.
is that one.
That
That is
was
a good
brilliant,
joke.
yeah.
That was a really good joke in the trailer, to be fair. Yeah, but Shane Black's a interesting guy, I suppose, because he hasn't directed that much, but he has written a lot of stuff. Like, of course, his most popular thing he's written
Lethal Weapon.
is Lethal Weapon.
See, yeah, I had no idea until I
Yeah.
started looking him up after watching
Watching
it
it?
last night. Yeah.
And when you find out he wrote Lethal Weapon, which is what people basically look at as the principle for that type of buddy cop comedy action movie duo type stuff, and he kind of set the standard for that. All these obvious movies kind of fall in place and make sense. Nice Guys, or whatever else. Iron Man, no, but whatever. that was a thing that happened. Which is why I do find it so weird in that Predator trailer where they're like, from the director of, roll down every movie he's been involved from.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3. Okay, that's the way you want to sell it to people? Yep. Okay. Let's go about it. I would love a sequel.
He didn't
to
write
Nice
Iron Man
Guys.
3, did he?
I think he was involved with the script.
Yeah.
You'd have to. To a certain extent, you would be involved in the script as a director of that sort of thing. Obviously, maybe you don't get a writing credit, but you would be...
Yeah. I didn't like Iron Man 3.
Yeah, he wrote it.
It was fine. Yeah.
Wrote and directed.
Yep.
There you go.
So the last thing I want to talk about, I watched a movie called This Is Where I Leave You. It's a 2014 film directed by Sean Levy, who's pretty much known now as one of the producers or directors for Stranger Things. But this is more of a family drama, which it has like an all-star cast. Jason Bateman, Tina Fey, Jane Fonda, Adam Driver, Corey Stoll. It's about a family whose the father of the family passed away, and all these grown-up siblings have to come together and spend a week together. It's great. It's really good. I enjoyed it. Also got Rose Byrne in there as well. She's really good. But Adam Driver is probably the standout in this film. Is like the youngest child, the spoiled child, who's a bit of a dick. It's great.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, this was the precursor to The Force Awakens, so you should check it out for that. Let's move into some film news, and probably the biggest news to do with anything with film is the news around the Academy Awards. So, I think mid last week, the Academy came out and they had like a meeting where they reinstated the...
Who knows what they do behind them doors?
Yeah, what did they do at the Academy? It's weird. They reinstated the chairman for another year or whatever, and then they just announced some changes they're going to be making to the Academy Awards. First, they're going to be moving it into early February from 2020, which is probably a good thing because award season seems to drag on. I think this year it was in April, I want to say, or March. But yeah, moving it forward to about February 9th, I think is... Okay, so apparently this year it's meant to be February 24th, so a couple of weeks, make it a bit tighter. Because really, by the point the Academy Awards come around, you kind of know who's going to win, because there's been that many awards handed out before.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. They also want to cut it down to 3 hours. And how they're going to be doing that is they're going to be presenting awards during the ad breaks and then re-editing them and showing them later in the broadcast.
What's the point of even having it live then? Honestly.
They're looking at probably more of the technical awards like makeup, cinematography. Well, not cinematography. Probably like the short film and documentary awards, which probably less people are interested in. Makes sense. Kind of a dick move to not give these people their moment. But considering that the show seems to regularly hit the 4-hour mark, I could assume it's a good decision for...
I feel like the people who are interested and watch it, an hour's runtime doesn't make much of a difference to them.
As someone who watches it every year, no, it doesn't make any difference. It's like, if I think about the Academy Awards or sitting down to watch the Globes or whatever, I know I'm sitting down for a long time to watch it, and I'm fine with that. I don't care.
I don't think this 1 hour less runtime is going to draw in that many more people for ratings, to be honest.
Okay. And the thing that caused the internet to go crazy is they announced they wanted to introduce an award for Outstanding Achievement in Popular Film.
Is that like the Trending Gamer Award?
Yeah, but not as prestigious. Yeah, I think I talked about it with Jack Cruz on It Is What It Is this week, but it's kind of sad that they would dilute the prestige and just hand out awards
So
an
what
award
exactly
pretty
is
much
the
to
criteria?
pretty much giving out an award to placate the more popular films and people who go and
I think
only
this
watch
is-
blockbuster films.
I think this would be the award that Leonardo DiCaprio would have got if he never got one.
Well, for a
It
start,
feels
it's
like that-
only
it-
for
it-
films. It's not most popular actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. Dylan, I imagine you're someone who has strong opinions about this. Do you want to?
It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And the only reason they're making any of these changes is to try and draw in an audience that is still not going to fucking care.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, we'll cut an hour off. We'll make an award that we can give to fucking a Marvel movie, and then everyone will tune in. No, they're not going to tune in. They're still going to see the award pop up on Twitter, retweet it or whatever, and be like, fuck yeah, Black Panther won or whatever. They're not going to watch your fucking award show still. It doesn't make any difference. Waste of time. Shouldn't have changed it at all. Close case. Fucking old people trying to appeal to young people that have no idea what they're on about.
Well, the interesting thing is, it's apparently the push is coming from the broadcasters, which is ABC, which coincidentally owned by Disney. Who coincidentally would be the people who win this award if it was
most
introduced.
likely to win the award. Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Fucking stupid. This is what the MTV Movie Awards are for.
yeah, or People's Choice Awards, or whatever. Yeah,
Oh, yes, exactly.
yeah, yeah. And the other thing, they don't really classify what a popular film is. I mean,
Money, I
what are the-
suppose.
yeah,
Surely?
I guess if you hit
Twitter
a
buzz.
certain amount of gross
Money?
revenue
Yeah, then
Or-
you count it.
or
But
a
here's the
certain
other thing.
budget.
Here's the other thing. People just like always complain every year. Fucking all right. Dark Knight should have been nominated for Best Picture. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now look at every other fucking superhero movie. Now tell me which one should have been nominated for Best
Dredd.
Picture. I don't agree, but okay. But my point is, everyone argues every year that these movies should be nominated for stuff, and in the moment, and I can do it too. You walk out of the cinema, you're like, "Fuck yeah, that was really good. They should be nominated for stuff." But then when you lay it out and compare it to old other movies that everyone just calls arty farty stuff, they're still just not as good. Plain and simple.
Like
Full stop.
Wonder Woman last year. There's a big
What are you
push for Wonder
nominated
Woman to be
For what?
nominated.
Best Picture?
Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah.
I love Black Panther. I don't know what the nominees for Best Picture are going to be at the end of the year. Currently, Black Panther's in one of my favorite movies, but it's not going to end up being Best Picture. I'm not going to get angry about that because there probably will be so many overall better movies. The moment I start getting annoyed and feel like the superhero movies are getting snubbed is when Black Panther doesn't get nominated for like costume design or soundtrack or cinematography or special effects, any of these other random categories that they do end up getting nominated for. That's when you could tell they was completely snubbing them. But I mean, they nominated fucking Suicide Squad for makeup and shit, which everyone had a hissy fit about, and I was always like, I hate that movie, but at the same time, it had
the
really
people
good
who
makeup.
did
Why don't-
makeup and that did a great job, and they should be
did a great
recognized.
job. Exactly. And everyone's like chucking a fucking hissy fit over it. They're like, all of our movies these Marvel movies deserve awards, but the comic book movie we didn't like got nominated for something that we don't even understand because we don't watch the fucking show, so we're going to fucking rage about it on the internet. I'm like, you don't even watch the Academy Awards. Shut the fuck up. You don't care. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Counter argument: can you care about who wins and still not watch it?
No, if you're not going to watch it and you're not going to care about all the nominees, you don't get to cherry pick randomly caring about.
Well, you do. Like, for me, for instance, no way in the fucking world will I ever sit down and watch that, but I'm still invested in who wins and who the nominees and that are. So you can't say that you have to watch it to be invested in it.
Not watch it, at least care about more than one award or understand what people are saying. The amount of times people would say, yeah, but they nominated Suicide Squad, and then someone would point out it was hair and makeup, and they're like, oh, was it?
Yeah.
They had no idea. They just read the headline or whatever. Like, you Google something. I don't know. Like, that is literally having no idea what the Academy Awards are to a degree that you're not even willing to Google what a movie was nominated for.
Right.
So I think there's levels to it. You don't need to watch it all. You certainly can you at least read them all of the nominees or like the popular ones or something like the 12, 24 big ones, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like that's something.
Yeah.
Outrage on Twitter.
If I was to change them, I would prefer, because Golden Globes aren't perfect. However, they do the whole comedy slash musical or something like that.
Even that's a bit of a fast.
I don't know if we need that many categories, but instead of just being like popular, can maybe split it up into 2 different categories or something. Maybe like action, comedy, something, and then like drama. Like I don't know. I don't know if that's a big answer, but I would much prefer that to this.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't like it though.
I honestly don't think there's a way to fix it. There's the people who care about it and the people who don't, and the people who don't care about it will never care about it.
Another thing,
But they'll always complain about it, is the other thing.
Exactly.
yeah. The other thing
So
about the
they're
Academy
winning
Awards,
fighting a losing battle. Sorry.
the Academy Awards aren't for the viewers. Like the show's supposed to be entertaining, and they try and make it fun for people to watch at home. But when it gets down to it, the Academy Awards is an industry event where the people there are meant to be celebrating themselves, their peers, etc., etc., etc. And that's what it is at its heart. So when you start fucking with the awards to please the viewers at an event that's about celebrating everyone working in one industry, you're doing it wrong, straight up.
Honestly, it's the version of like the Master Builders Association Awards.
The what?
Completely the same. Yeah.
In a way, it's exactly the same.
Next story. Star Trek 4. It looks like it's going to be in a whole world of hurt because apparently Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth are in doubt for the next film.
When the fuck did Chris Hemsworth come back into it? Wasn't he just like in one scene at the beginning of the first one?
Yeah, the plot of the next film was going to be a time travel story where they go back in
because
time.
I haven't done that before.
They go back in time and have ventures together.
Oh, fucking Spock comes back. Ooh.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? It sounds like Universal is... Paramount is lowballing or not fulfilling their obligations. Do you think that... Obviously, I am of the opinion that they're just going to come around and pay them what they deserve or need to. Because what are they going to do?
Honestly,
completely redo the script or recast Captain Kirk? I don't think so.
Well, I hope that they... In a way, they hold their stance and they like introduce like a next generation type thing.
But they've already got
Patrick
all
Stewart.
the rest of the cast.
That's fine.
Already locked
Time
in.
travel. Just change Kirk with fucking Picard. There you go. Problem solved.
Well, he is going to be doing he's coming back to act as Picard. It was announced the other week as well.
Oh, not in the movie, but
Not
yeah,
in the
they're
movie,
doing
in a TV show.
the next generation thing.
Look, I don't really care about Star Trek. I thought the last movie was good.
I enjoyed the first two for what they were.
But you didn't like the third one?
I never even watched it. The
Alright,
trailers looked absolutely fucking stupid.
I quite enjoyed the last one
it's good.
because they put them on a planet and they have some fun. And
I didn't like the
there's
design of the
motorcycles and shit.
aliens.
All sorts of stuff happening. I can't remember the actress's name that was in that one, but she was quite good. She had like the full on makeup on or whatever.
Oh, she was in Kingsman as well. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, that one. Do I care about what happens to Star Trek 4 and their weird time travel storyline with the Chris's? No, I don't care.
I don't think even Trekkie's scared, to be honest.
Yeah. They got Picard coming back now. They're like, fuck these movies that JJ kicked off. Fuck him. He does Star Wars now. He's betrayed. He fucked us. We're gone. Okay. If the Chris's won't come on, then yeah, it's as simple as
Just pay to get Chris Evans and Chris Pratt in there to trade places.
yeah, done.
Yeah,
No,
they're interchangeable. Or Chris's look the same.
Exactly.
I mean,
what you're saying?
you can just say have a throwaway line in the movie that whatever Kirk died in an accident or some shit like that. So
Oh no, you've got into an accident and your face changed.
yeah, sure. You regenerated. What? You was a Gallifreyan Time Lord this whole time.
Oh god.
That was a good nerdy joke. We put points on that one. Star Trek and Doctor Who jokes. We got them over.
As long as it's
They
not a
did
woman, I'm
They
happy.
did a comic book series once called
Ooh.
Star Trek Doctor Who: A Simulation. It's pretty good.
Pretty sure they've probably done a crossover.
They have in the comic book.
Yeah. So another big rumor that was going around this week that's probably not true. Idris Elba is the next Bond.
Oh, I fucking hope this is true. I
Me
so
too.
hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been rumored to be around the role for like since the Sony leaks in 2000.
Look,
Yeah.
let's do hands up. Who's watched Luther?
No.
That's
This is an
why
audio
you're not-
podcast.
That's why you're not. That's why you're not sold, Ash. Because if you go watch Luther, you're like, that should be
No,
James
I'd
Bond.
be very happy if he if he was in the role. I just don't think it's going to happen. For a start, he's like 40 something, and let's face it, the old Bond, the
Tom
Bonds
Cruise
with
is
older,
67 or something. I don't fucking get.
the Bonds
isn't
with
what it is
older
these
guys
days.
are not the best Bonds.
They're
The
not
Bonds
Idris
with
Elba.
Old Roger Moore.
You know, you haven't come through. I'm fucking Bond, mate. You're gonna fucking smash you.
I think Idris Elba can pull it off. Being that age these days in Hollywood doesn't amount to much.
Yeah.
No, if you're a male.
I mean, if he's physically fit enough to do the stunts and that sort of thing,
He's fit.
it's fine.
How old's Daniel Craig? He's getting on.
He'd be up there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
He'd be late
Yeah.
40s.
Let's type him into the old fucking search engine over here. A side note, this is the reason that this movie. I can't wait if they do cast him because there's already an uproar with the rumors. But no shit, I'm sitting in my room at some stage this week and I hear my dad reading off the paper. Apparently they're going to cast Idris Elba as James Bond. My mum's like, what? Who's that? And he goes, oh, one of the black guys that was in Thor. A black guy can't be James Bond. He's British. That's
You
subtle
need to move out,
racism, but that's how it works. You know. What
He
can you
did tweet out, "Don't believe the hype." So I don't know.
Yeah, but he wrote hype in all capitals, so he's been very
do? 19.
clear.
How old's that? 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 40. Yeah, no, he's like nearly 50 or whatever. 50.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to go. You want to build the next like 4 or 5 films around a guy. Are you going to put Idris Elba in
Yes.
that for 4 or 5?
Yes, he
Films.
can carry it. He's a fantastic
Or do you
actor.
think they'll go? I think they'll probably go for someone younger.
I don't
Give it
want a
to-
young Bond though.
Look, at the end of the day, most Bond movies that come out these days, I just automatically expect there to be shit until I'm proved otherwise.
I'm keen for Bond 25 with Danny Boyle. I think he's a good director.
Yeah.
So,
My last thing on James Bond is honestly after the last one, I wish the franchise would have just died and gone away.
yeah, that was a bad movie.
So
Let's touch on a bit of Star Wars movie news. The rumor going around is the new live-action Star Wars movie directed by Jon Favreau is going to be costing $100 million and is going to be set on Mandalore.
the TV series.
Yes.
Yep.
How do you feel about that, Dylan? What? Explain Mandalore to the people.
It's a planet of Boba Fett's.
Yeah, there you go. That is the easiest, most simplest way to explain it to people who have only watched the movies. Yeah, it's where the Boba Fetts are from. That's where it goes. They delve into it a lot in animated series and that sort of stuff, like Mandalore. But
Mandalore is a pretty important planet to Star Wars history.
yeah,
It constantly pops up in pretty much everything.
canon wise, we don't know what. There was a point in time where. Well, no, they kind of do. Yeah, no, canon wise, there is a history between the Jedi and the Mandalorians. They
Because
fought.
Obi-Wan and the Queen banged.
No, not before that. I mean, Old Republic wise.
Oh.
So there's history there, and then there is the Obi-Wan and the Queen banging and having Rey. That's not really a thing, but it's
Or is it?
or is it? That was one of the rumors. Yes. Recently, the Rebels, most recent animated series, one of the characters in that, the one that paints all the shit, she's from Mandalore. They covered. It's interesting though because there'll be a fuck ton of Mandalore shit happening if they do, because the Clone Wars returning season is basically going to be nearly all on Mandalore, or have the big storyline all on Mandalore as well.
My only thing is visually, Mandalore is boring, I think.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it in live action. Like they might be able to make a really cool looking city or something.
And I think, I know in EW, like, the Boba Fett armor is exactly the same, but I think going on to mainstream audiences, which this is intended to, they might be oversaturated with it.
it's not as cool if there's heaps of people with
Exactly,
armor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone with backpacks and shit takes
Yeah.
away from the specialness of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I can see that. I don't know what the storyline is though, because this is set how many years after episode 6 or something like that? Like 7 years after episode 6, I think.
Yeah, it's after the Empire falls, apparently.
Yeah. So shortly after then, so we're in that weird time period shortly after where the New Republic's still kind of picking up what exactly they're doing in the galaxy. And I don't know, like the Mandalore story is what? Mandalore rebuilding then after everything because they get fucked over by the Empire is basically what happens in the storyline at the moment. Like the Empire comes down to Mandalore, they slave and they corrupt a bunch of the people there, and they have a bunch of Mandalorians working for them when the Empire's in charge. That's the history that we kind of know. So then a story, in my mind, 5 or 6 years later, has to be a newly, freshly rebuilt Mandalore kind of empire. And I don't know if that's super interesting. It's just...
Star Wars The West Wing.
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, it's there's not enough detail to... You can say it's set on any planet at this stage and it would make zero difference to me. Saying it's set on Mandalore is whatever. I don't know. Tell me more.
I don't have any more, but...
All right, don't tell me more then.
Yeah, coming to Disney streaming services at some point in the future. Did you guys hear about all this uproar about the Nun advertising on YouTube and stuff?
I did, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so pretty much they've released like a 6-second trailer in front of stuff where you would just get like a small volume symbol going up and down. Then all of a sudden, boo! It's the Nun from the movie The Nun, which scared a lot of people and pissed a lot of people off because
I never saw it because I got YouTube Premium.
It's also pretty much against YouTube guidelines. I'm pretty sure they have a ban on promotions that are likely to shock or scare. But obviously, it's making everybody talk about this movie. Is it?
Exactly.
Well, it got pulled. Also,
it got pulled.
So.
But was it a genius marketing ploy?
Well, it did its job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes. Because it was all in the news this morning when I woke up. I kept scrolling through my feed of news articles, and it's like the Nun this, the Nun that, the Nun that. And I'm like, okay, well, they had it up for however long and it's got pulled, but look at all the articles you've now got for the movie with the Nun in it. So, sure, it worked.
Yeah. Does it make you want to see the Nun?
I was already going to watch it anyway.
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
You're like, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Did it make you want to watch the Nun more, Ash?
No,
yeah, I
it
didn't think so.
I honestly didn't even know it was a thing until this morning.
I should have watched our reacts.
Well, that makes...
You can go watch our
Obviously
video
not
that
watching
we
our
cut
content.
out. We put on Twitter where they got Ash and me good. We both jump scared in the trailer we watched. Yeah, got him. Ash does a good. I'm like, oh, little horror boy over here. Ash loves the horror. That's what you get him so good.
So something that made a lot of fans unhappy this week, they cast Ruby Rose as the Arrowverse's Batwoman. Now, I think from memory, Nick, you pretty much have a disdain for Ruby Rose. Is that correct?
Yes, I hate her as an actress. Well, I can't even call her an actress because she can't act. She's a person that appears in things for some fucking reason.
Dylan, do you have a different take?
I've enjoyed her in what I'm seeing her in. She hasn't been in the movie where she's had to show me great acting chops. Like I've watched her be a mute in John Wick.
She was awful in fucking Orange is the New Black.
It's not a role. I haven't watched Orange is the New Black is the thing. In Triple X, she's just pretty much the same role again from John Wick, but she's talking, I guess. And then she's in The Meg, which I haven't seen yet, but it looks like the same role again, except for she's on a submarine. And she used to host music shows back here, and she was on TV, and she was the same role then, except for she was telling me about music.
Yeah.
So I
honestly can't even fathom how she's ended up in all this stuff.
Well, she auditioned, and I said yes.
It must have been fucking slim pickings that day.
I cannot picture her as the character if I look at her. However, I'm not willing to withhold judgment until I
as long as she doesn't get a tan, I'll be happy.
Is this leading into a series of her own?
It there were rumors that there was definitely going to be, but I think they're putting it on hold
No,
to
no.
see how.
Oh well,
how
they
it
probably
goes.
put it on hold, but they've already said who would be doing it and all this other shit. So this is like when they
If we
played.
did it, this is who would be
This
doing
is like
it.
this is like when they played coy with the Flash. They were like, introduce the Flash mid-season,
Yeah.
and then we're like, oh, we might do a season. But as far as I'm concerned, the whole time they were planning on doing at least one season.
Yeah.
And if it flopped, cancelled it. So I presume this is exactly the same. They're going to introduce her in the mid-season crossover event, the CW Big Fuck Fest, where they have everyone come together. And then after that, the year after, so mid-2019 or whatever, she'll kick off her own series. And if it flops, they will just cancel it after one season.
Will she say fuck Batman?
Fuck Batman. I hope not. Batwoman is an interesting character that I like. There's a run of comics that are really good with her in it, and she's quite good as a character in Detective Comics at the moment, where she's in charge of the team, because Detective Comics at the moment has a group of people, including
The
like
Bat
Clayface and the Bat family, all working together, and Batman put her in charge of these people, and she's interesting character in that. Batwoman is not Batgirl, even though I've seen so many people this whole time this news story's been up get so confused, and they're yelling, "You can't play fucking Barbara Gordon." I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill someone in a minute. Please stop.
Yeah.
But she's a completely different character who I suppose is most famous for being a openly gay comic book character. And when she came out, when they did that in the comics, it was at a time when it was still, holy fuck, like, you know, I mean, there's outrage these days still, but I mean, main news, this is crazy. I can't believe DC Comics have made a character come out as gay. Whereas if they change the character to being openly gay these days, the only uproar is on pissed off fanboys on Twitter, not CNN News.
It seems like every DC character at the moment is either bi or gay. So
make everyone buy it. Makes things easy.
Yeah. Everybody can be with everybody.
Yeah, that's how I like it.
The annual can be just one big orgy.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do you want to touch on the harassment she's gotten? Or is it just basically
At
people
this
shouting?
stage-
Harassment.
At this stage, it is. Well, I don't know how many times you talk about it. It happens to so many actresses now. All these people shutting down their Twitters and their Instagrams and all this stuff because they're getting abused by pissed off, nerdy fucking fanboys, and it makes me angry to be associated with any sort of fan base. Like, is this DC Comics fans? Okay, I'm ashamed to be a comics book fan. Is this TV general fans? Okay, I'm disappointed to be associated with that group. Is this just general nerdy, geeky people out there? You know, whatever. You want to throw the umbrella over? Okay, I don't want to be associated with them either. It's the same as when Gamergate happened. I'm like, I don't like the word gamer anymore because I don't want to be associated with that shit at all. Fuck off.
That's why I took all gates off my property.
What do you have instead?
Nothing. I believe in a free range yard.
Jesus Christ. No one should be getting abused on Twitter for playing a role in fucking anything. And I've seen people say outlandish shit like, we're fucking, imagine if we did this role, someone was on about someone playing fucking Martin Luther King wrong or something like this. I'm like, what the fuck are you even on about, dude? You're talking about a comic book character, a fictional comic book character. Just calm down. I don't care if you're like Nick and you're like, I don't like her as an actress. All right, that's your opinion. You're allowed that. If you go onto Instagram or Twitter and start tweeting, you fucking suck, you bitch, any of that sort of shit, you're a horrible human being and you should just get off the internet. Full stop.
Cool. Another interesting story, I thought. So earlier in the year, YouTube Red picked up the movie Bodied, the Joseph Kahn battle rap movie. Assuming it was going to show up on YouTube Red at some points, but apparently it's going to be getting a wide release. This also comes on the back of Netflix letting Comedy Central in America run BoJack Horseman, one of their own original properties, over there as well. Do you think we're seeing a trend of maybe streaming services stretching out and letting their properties show up in other places? Or is this... Does it make money sense? Or should they be trying to keep everything in-house?
Well, I imagine a lot of people that already watch Comedy Central would already have Netflix, so if they're just going to get extra money for it to being shown elsewhere, all for them, I guess. Because they could also go, oh, this is from Netflix. What else do they have? I might sign up for a month and see if there's anything there I like if they don't already have it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like when they show randomly, whenever a new season of Doctor Who starts, they'll show the season opener or finale sometimes in cinemas. And I can watch that shit for free on TV, but I've paid several times $15 or whatever to go watch it in a cinema. And that's just solely so I can watch it on a bigger screen. So if someone at home could be like, I could watch this on Netflix, but I really like it and I'm willing to pay $15 to go watch it on a bigger screen, then they're just easy money to be made. So whatever.
Yeah.
It's like Game of Thrones. You got a HBO subscription. I can go watch Game of Thrones, but I'll go pay extra on top of my HBO subscription.
I wish
to
I
watch
had
it
an
on stream.
HBO subscription.
Yeah, well, like when they put it in American cinemas they did some of the episodes.
Yeah.
But all those people would have been already paying for those episodes and could have watched them at home, but were willing to pay the $20 extra to go watch it simply to have it on the cinema experience. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so one of the more odd stories this week, they are doing a TV adaptation of the song Hey There Delilah from the Plain White T's. Apparently, yeah, some guys thought it was a good idea. Is it a good idea? Probably not. It's just such a random story and a random song to have picked.
I loved this song when I was in high school.
Yeah, it was good.
I believe I actually listened to it today.
Okay. There have been other movies or musicals that have been inspired by certain songs, but I don't know how you stretch out a song into a TV series.
I don't know how they stretched out Mamma Mia into 2 movies, but they did.
Well, ABBA's got a lot of songs, so
No, it's just one song, I think. It's just Mamma Mia.
they sing Mamma Mia for like three hours.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what
They're
it is.
actually doing a sequel to Master and Commander about Waterloo.
And last thing I just want to quickly touch on, don't have to say much on this, but I thought it was pretty cool. The A24 movie 8th Grade, directed by Bo Burnham, was released in America recently, but it got an R rating, so people who should see it, who are in the 8th grade, weren't able to go see it because of the rating. So what they did is they did a bunch of free screenings across the country to let people in the 8th grade go and see the movie, which I thought was pretty good, pretty interesting, and pretty like.
I don't really know
How does
about
that make
this
sense?
movie.
How does it make it free?
Because
Just
they're not
to
paying
sway?
for the movie, they can go see it.
I thought the whole thing with the rating is that they shouldn't be seeing it
No,
because
I
of
think
their
it's
age.
more-
Not should they be buying it?
I think it's more strict over in America. Like, I don't know.
That seems
What
stupid.
what is this movie? Why is it rated R? Why should 8th grade
the-
grade?
Because
only
there's more
reason-
than one fuck in it.
No, yeah, the only reason it got an R rating is because there's a lot of swearing in it. Because that's what
Okay.
8th graders do. They swear a lot.
Apparently, you can only have one fuck in the movie before it becomes R rating in America.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. So, good on you, A24. Hurry up and bring this movie to Australia.
We like them A24s.
Like them A24 peoples. And the other thing I wanted to say, I'm very disappointed. Apparently, Sorry to Bother You, that movie that we reacted to as well.
Yeah,
That's not getting an international release, apparently.
at all. It's fucking bullshit. Piss me off.
Let's get in.
Keep seeing these people talking about how good it is and shit. And you're like, yeah. When's the release date going to be announced? And then the other day, at some point this week, it was like, yeah, you're not getting one. I'm like, fuck.
Bullshit.
Why do people pirate in Australia? Why?
Yeah. So, I guess maybe it'll come to one of the international film festivals or something, or it will drop on Netflix at some point.
This is really what Netflix should be doing for shit like this. That would be such a smart opportunity, really, if they did that.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I mean, it made sense. They did the same with Annihilation, and that was like huge.
yes.
Huge for them, yeah.
If you're listening, Mr. or Mrs. Netflix,
We are the #1 Australian podcast for Netflix content.
movie, yeah,
Listen to
exactly.
us.
Listen to it.
All right. Seeing as we're finally back together, all three of us, I guess. Hang on. I wanted to bring back one of my only recurring segments. Which would you rather watch? We go to the website Flickchart, which puts 2 movies up against each other. We pick one, or if one of us hasn't seen one of the films, it goes onto our list of shame. and could potentially go be a movie we end up watching at some point, which just so happens to be the first two choices for this round of Which Would You Rather Watch. The first two choices are Citizen Kane and Silence of the Lambs. I would pick Silence of the Lambs.
As would I.
Yeah.
You can listen to episode whatever it was.
Listen to episode and episode 9 to get our opinions on those two films. Okay, Sleepy Hollow and Hellboy. I haven't seen Sleepy Hollow.
Neither have I.
Okay.
No.
Stand By Me or Hellboy. I have not seen Stand By Me.
Neither.
Okay. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves and Hellboy.
Hellboy.
I would also say Hellboy. I can't believe that's 1937.
Yep.
Yeah, unbelievable. Hook versus Watchmen. I've not seen Hook.
Oh, what?
I know. It's just one of those movies that I missed during my childhood.
That was a tough choice.
Yeah, made easier. The Empire Strikes Back versus Watchmen.
Empire Strikes Back.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I'd agree. Empire Strikes Back. Batman Forever or Fantastic Four, the 2005 version with Chris Evans, Jessica Alba.
Batman Forever.
Is that one of the Tim Burton ones?
No, it's the first, what's his face name?
Oh, the one with Jim Carrey and...
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I love that movie. I really do love that movie.
I don't mind the first Fantastic Four, but yeah, I'll agree. Batman Forever. Titanic versus Goodfellas. Goodfellas, yeah. Easy pick, sort of. The Perfect Storm versus The Chronicles of Narnia, The Witch and the Wardrobe. I have not seen The Perfect Storm.
I haven't seen Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay.
Holy fucking shit.
Really? We have Platoon versus Ocean's 11. I have not seen Platoon.
I have not seen Platoon.
What?
Yeah. Calm down, war boy.
Then we have Big versus Ocean's 11. Big I haven't seen either.
Neither of us.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Big.
The Sixth Sense versus Ocean's 11. I would pick Ocean's 11.
I'd pick The Sixth Sense.
This is a hard one, actually.
Yeah.
This is one of those weird hard ones. You're like, how are these two
very
movies
different.
even the same to compare to each other? But this damn website's making me do it.
Yep. Ocean's 11 more fun.
Ocean's 11. I'm saying Ocean's 11.
Titanic versus Walk the Line.
Walk the Line.
I would pick Walk the Line as well.
Although I'd rather Dewey Cox.
That's a funny movie.
Yeah. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom versus Beowulf.
I haven't seen Beowulf.
Yeah.
Neither.
Lucky you. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom versus The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire.
Empire.
Empire, yeah.
Temple's the worst Indiana Jones movie.
Of the three?
El Exorcista.
The Exorcist versus True Lies. I haven't
True
seen
Lies.
The Exorcist.
Exorcist.
No way.
True Lies versus Aeroplane.
True Lies.
True Lies.
True Lies, yes.
Fuck, I love True Lies.
Jaws versus Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. I've seen neither of these movies.
Is that the first Anaconda?
I don't think so.
Excuse me, hold on. Did you say you haven't seen Jaws?
I haven't seen Jaws.
It's overrated.
I might watch it soon so I can compare it to the upcoming movie, The Meg. Yeah. William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet versus Inner Space.
I haven't seen Inner Space.
I haven't seen either of these. Next up, we have Neighbours versus Pretty Woman.
Neighbours.
I haven't seen Neighbours. Or Pretty Woman.
Oh my god, you should watch Neighbours. It's fucking funny.
Yeah, Neighbours is pretty great.
Zac Efron's secretly a comedic genius.
It's better than it should be.
Yes.
Pitch Black versus Silence of the Lambs. I haven't seen Pitch Black. Sorry. Austin Powers International Man of Mystery versus Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
I would watch Austin Powers.
Silence of the Lambs.
Not unexpected, but...
Not for your choices, but...
Taken versus Batman, the original 1989 film. I haven't seen Taken.
I haven't seen Batman.
Okay.
Excuse me? Wait. You've hold on. Unpack. You've seen Batman Forever, and you've seen the two Joel Schumacher ones, but you haven't seen the Burton movie.
The Burton movie
first
came
one.
out like before that time, I guess, and I've never gone back to watch them.
But you've seen the Schumacher.
Yeah,
one.
but the Schumacher ones were around me growing up. Like, I remember seeing them as a kid, getting the Happy Meal toys and stuff like that.
Oh my god. Fucking. Okay, continue.
Okay. The 40-Year-Old Virgin versus Mission Impossible 2.
40-year-old
Virgin.
Yes, 40-year-old virgin.
Then we have The Bourne Ultimatum, which is the third one, versus The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I haven't seen Eternal Sunshine.
Really?
Yeah.
It's on my backlog.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you like movies that make you want to feel bad about life and everything else, but
Makes me feel better about my life. Bourne Ultimatum versus Ocean's 12. I would go Bourne.
I haven't seen
Bourne.
Ocean's 12.
Okay. Bourne Ultimatum versus Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
I would go Bourne Ultimatum.
Starship Troopers.
Yes.
It was close.
It's only one of those movies that's as good as the first one.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree.
Notes on a Scandal versus Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I haven't seen.
I have no idea what Notes on Scandal is. I've not heard this movie till just now.
It does sound familiar. Rocky 4 versus Tomb Raider. I haven't seen
Holy
Rocky 4.
shit.
Me either.
Rocky. That's an easy pick.
Is that the
That's the one with the bad guy we're going to get in the son of in the new Creed movie.
who's the
Ivan
actor?
Drago.
Donnie Lundgren.
Here we go. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace versus Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Misa
Star
picked the
Wars.
Phantom Menace.
Star Wars. Yeah. Look, people say this movie, you'd never pick it over anything else. Certainly would. I'd pick it over Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
I would pick Tomb Raider. I enjoyed that
crazy.
one. What did you pick, Nick?
Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the Phantom Menace.
Wanted versus Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
I haven't seen Wanted.
Oh. It's so silly that it comes around to be good.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Terminator 3 versus The Fly. I haven't seen The Fly.
Me either.
Neither.
Okay.
That's one of David Fincher's, isn't it?
Okay.
Cronenberg.
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and Terminator 3. I would go Fellowship of the Ring with the twins in it.
I also would go with Lord of the Rings with the twins in it.
What do you think, Nick?
Fellowship.
Go back to our Twitter.
Terminator 3 is an abomination.
It certainly is.
Spider-Man, with the first one with Tobey Maguire versus Clerks. I haven't
This
seen
is
Clerks.
tough. Oh,
I won't give you my answer.
I think that's I've seen most of Kevin Smith's movies, but not that one.
except for the Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah. Spider-Man versus Die Hard with a Vengeance. I would go Spider-Man. I can't.
Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael.
And the bad guy who just spends
yeah.
the whole movie being like, "You killed my brother." He was a much better
Jeremy
actor.
Irons.
He was a much better actor than me. You killed Alan Rickman.
We'll end on this one if people have watched it. A Bug's Life versus Little Miss Sunshine.
Is Little Miss Sunshine about them all in the van?
Yes.
Yeah,
I would pick Little Miss Sunshine.
as would I.
I'd pick Bug's Life.
Okay. I love Little Miss Sunshine. I should rewatch that soon.
I think Bug's Life was the first VHS I owned, so I've got an attachment from a childhood aspect.
Yeah. Okay. So that's which would we rather watch? But Nick, what did we end up watching this week?
We ended up watching Master and Commander: Far Side of the World.
Our enemy has more than twice our guns, more than twice our numbers, and we are supposed to stop it.
Torn between fulfilling his duty
Captain's not called Lucky Jack for no reason. Phantom or no, Lucky Jack will have her.
and the lives of the men he commands,
Steady!
he must face the invincible.
He fights like you, Jack. A hunter becomes the hunted.
Well then, there's not a moment to lose.
Yes, it's a 2003 film directed by Peter Weir, starring Russell Crowe, The plot for this film is during the Napoleonic Wars, a brash British captain pushes his ship and crew to their limits in pursuit of a formidable French war vessel around South America.
Based
Now,
off the first three books of the Aubrey and Martuin book series.
interesting. Didn't know that.
It is, and also that ship in the books is meant to be American, but they changed it to French because they were worried that American audiences wouldn't be receptive to it.
That's fair. I think Americans don't like to be made the enemy of anything. They don't want to be made out to be the bad guys of anything.
They must have hated the Civil War.
Well, half of them were the bad guys in the Civil War. Yeah, I picked this one this week because I've always heard that this is like an underrated classic. But yeah. Nick, do you want to give us your patented #Nick's mid review?
Master and Commander. The film was shot beautifully. The camera work was solid. The camera work sold the intensity and isolation of the Age of Sail. The action scenes are where this film shines, but otherwise the film just meanders. The friendship between Aubrey and Martuin felt very cliche. 6.5 out of 10. #Nick's mini review.
Okay. Dylan, do you agree with that sentiment?
I think the first action scene, the one that it opens on, is really good. And everything after that is horrible, action-wise. Especially the last action scene, where I'm pretty sure they were cutting every second. It was like cut. And I could barely tell what the fuck was going on. They would cut to some people getting blown up, and I would have no idea if they were bad guys or good guys. I was like, are we winning? Are we losing? What's going on here? And it wasn't until a couple minutes into it that I was like, okay, that's what's happening. Okay, fair enough. So apart from the first opening action scene, if you want to call it an action scene, when they first
Battle scene.
When they first bump into the ship at the start, I found the action to kind of be the worst part of the movie, and I much preferred the drama happening on the ship. I found that all very interesting. I found it interesting, just the whole movie in general, from the aspect that the movie doesn't start like out in a city or somewhere, they're home, and then they gather the crew. They're like, here's the mission. You've got to go out there and try and trace down this boat. And then they get on the boat, and how most movies go. It's just like the movie starts in the middle of the fucking ocean on the ship, and then 99% of the movie or 95% of the movie is all on the ship, and they've all shot it. Some really great shots from helicopter of the ship around the ocean, because they actually did film it in the ocean and people got seasick and whatever else. So it has like a nice level of realism to it, I suppose, because they actually were out there. Russell Crowe learnt to play fucking violin for this movie, which is also just sure, why not? Go for gold.
And it looks that authenticity makes a difference.
Yeah, because they don't need to cut away, or they only have close-up shots of someone playing the violin. They cut, and then only close-up shots of his face, and they never see like a wide one of him playing it, which they would have done if he couldn't actually do it. I watched this movie when it first came out, though, but I'm pretty sure I would have been like 10 or something when it came out. And the only thing that stood out in my memory from this movie, when you said you wanted to watch it, was I remembered the scene where very early, I don't want read spoil territory, very early in the movie where that kid gets his arm cut off, after the first battle. When I watched it when I was younger, and that scene, I was like, nope, turning away, not watching. I was like, that was too much for me. And that's all the only scene I could remember this whole fucking movie when I sat down to watch it again. It's still intense, I found.
Yeah, so. Because there was no warning. It sort of came out of nowhere. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I think I agree with your point that final action sequence was a bit of a mess. And was constantly just cut. I had no idea what was happening. Pretty much. I just assumed they were winning. I don't know why. I just
you have to assume though. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And all the the class difference on the ship was cool to see, and having all these young kids for some reason being more higher in the ranking than a lot of the.
It's because they come from families of nobility.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, but seeing these kids just sort of being in charge was a bit jarring, but cool to see. I guess that's accurate to how it was back then. But yeah, I thought Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany had great chemistry.
I think Paul Bettany was awful. His character was horrible. Like, you don't join the Navy as a doctor and then have a whinge to the fucking captain when they have to go and complete the fucking mission they were assigned.
Well,
That makes no sense.
That's what his character was.
Yeah, and it didn't make sense to me.
Doesn't need to make sense. That's the character.
Yeah,
The character was awful.
It wasn't like left field. They suddenly changed the character. He was very much this guy who's, I suppose, grown up, wanted to be a doctor, got the job, wanted to help out with those that are going to be in trouble.
Or got
on these
conscripted.
ships.
I think it was implied some people were conscripted to being on that ship.
That'd be the shipmates. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I find it hard to believe he would have been, but I figured that he was a doctor, so he's got a good heart and he wants to help people. So he's happy to come onto a ship to help people. But when it comes down to it, his military mind is he's not for it all. You know, like he's very much against the routine of it all this sort of stuff. You know, he's talking about Chuck and Grog over, all these other things. He very much, he's a lefty.
Yeah. It was also helpful that he didn't know much about that sort of stuff, so they could explain it to him, so we as the audience could understand what they're doing. Yeah. So from story, do you want to get into some spoilers?
Yeah,
We already did, didn't we?
full spoilers.
overly.
Thank you for joining us. For what do you want to watch? Catch you next
Or
time.
jump ahead, like
What do they cut
ahead.
ahead to? The closing credits.
closing. Yeah, you want to hear all our information. I found the storyline with the younger officer, like the 30-year-old officer.
The one
was
who
really interesting.
jumps off.
Yeah, I found it interesting. I thought it was one of the more engaging plot lines going through the film. Sort of, everybody thinks he's cursed or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, from the start of the movie, you can tell straight away from get-go, from first minute, he has no fucking idea what he's doing, really. He's
Yeah.
so unsure of himself and no confidence, whatever
Quaker.
else. He's got chucked into a position he doesn't deserve to be, really, is what it seems.
or fit to be.
Or fit to be, yeah. And he gets teased and prodded and basically bullied into committing suicide, I suppose, is the gist
Oh,
of
that
it.
scene where he walks through the
Oh,
Yeah, everyone's...
yeah.
everyone's
Eyeing
In the
him.
galley.
Yeah.
sarcastically saluting him. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
intense.
Then what the fuck was I going to bring up? I quite like the ending. It's like the smartest part of the movie, I feel, because they don't everything else. I feel like everything else in the movie is pretty cut dry, easy to follow.
Yeah.
Because there's not too much going on. They don't really get too much into the political landscape of the world or anything like that. You know, opens up. Here's the date, Napoleon, blah, blah, blah. Here's the good guy, Russell Crowe. There's one ship, that's the bad guy. The whole movie is about one ship, bad guy, one ship, good guy. Pretty easy to follow, even if you take away the countries behind every ship. And then I quite enjoyed how the ending, they didn't fully explain. They just like hinted at what had happened, which is basically that the doctor,
The doctor was the captain.
switch. Yeah, I thought that was quite funny. It was a kind of comedic end, I felt, to the end somehow, like where he's because they're about to go back to that island so the doctor can find his bird or whatever, and he's like, oh, switch place down. Then the camera takes putting out, they're playing the music like, oh, go back on the chase and hunt down the guy because he's playing tricksters. Like it seemed kind of comedic, I guess, to the
Yeah, a little
whole
bit more
bloody
lighthearted.
affair.
Oh,
Yeah.
that rascally rabbit.
Yeah, it's like after the amount of people that have died and arms cut off and all this sort of stuff over these two battling, and then it's like, oh, we'll catch the guy who's pretending to be someone else. Oh, that guy, shucks, how he pretended to be a doctor. That's funny. So I thought that was a bit odd, but funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Ending.
I also thought the part where they make the little boat to trick them into following it in the fog at night.
That was good.
That was clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff too. Those scenes where that's what I'm saying. The action, as far as I'm concerned, is the worst part of the movie, just because it's edited fucking horribly, and they don't know what the director has no idea what he's doing in the action scenes, and the editor, they had no idea. Those stuff at nighttime or whatever else, where they can just slowly show you the detail they've got on the ship and all these other sorts of things. That's why it worked a lot better. because they could have these long running scenes like showing the ship. Oh, looks really nice. They got this. You get to play out that whole thing where they let off that distraction thing off the side, and then the camera kind of just goes down slowly behind it all. And it's that's really tense scene because the ship's firing these cannonballs off, and everyone's been quiet, and you don't know if he's about to be hit on that thing or not and be taken off. You don't really know what they're doing until the last moment where they start lighting up the lanterns. You're like, oh, okay, I understand what's happening. Those scenes where it's really tense, like that, I felt was when the movie was at its best. But yeah, that last action scene just really annoyed me with how annoying and if I can't understand who the fuck is dying, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And it annoyed
So
me.
I never had that problem at all.
Sorry, me and Ash aren't as smart as you, Nick.
No, it was so frantic. Well, it didn't help that everybody was starting to dress the same. At least put them in uniforms.
Couldn't hear people either. There's one point there where
The thing is, they were privateers. They weren't Navy.
do you feel like the fact that you read or know, like read into this subject matter more than us helps you just understand that scene more?
I guess so, yeah.
Well, that's not fair on the general audience then, is it?
Well, it's not my fault the general audience are uneducated.
Fucking hell.
How do we feel? I found it interesting that Russell Crowe's character was sort of on this quest, like pride-driven quest to chase that boat down at all costs. But then he just, I mean, in the cliched, his best friend needed medical care and he sort of gave up on it. Did you find that pretty similar? Kind of cliched.
Well,
can I also say
it also
how
kind
he
of made
gets
sense
shot
because
is
he
the
was
dumbest thing.
Yes.
yeah.
Why the fuck wasn't that dude hung or whatever, chucked overboard for shooting him?
Yeah.
Because technically he was a captain as well.
It's stupid is what it is, but...
Yeah.
So no one outranked him on the boat.
Okay. What were you saying before I interrupted?
I honestly can't remember. Oh, yeah, no, it made sense to stop and render him proper care because without the ship's doctor, they're pretty much all fucked.
That's true. But yeah. I enjoyed seeing Russell Crowe kind of go crazy for a little bit there as well. Like, eating that moose or whatever it was that they were...
Yes,
crazy as... Yeah.
Chocolate Moose Island or whatever the fuck it was, yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
I enjoyed it.
I'm not going to rush out and read the book, but if there was literally nothing else, I would be interested in checking out the books.
Well,
I saw
the book
Nick
is
added
like
them to his
20
Goodreads.
odd fucking books long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found him as a character interesting enough because like you gather in this one there's lore, like there's history to him. Everyone's like, oh, it's Lucky Jack, you know, he's got this blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So I could see that being, I could see the idea of a character, a fictional character like that within a historical setting, interesting.
Do you wish they'd made a sequel?
I don't wish, but at the same time, that I feel like they probably would have if suddenly this movie made them billions of dollars, but it didn't. So.
Yeah.
One and done. There you go. That's why you put 3 books into one and change some shit.
Does it cover the full 3 books, or is it?
I think it picks
It picks
bits and
parts
pieces.
apparently. Yeah, they're like, oh, this part from this book, this part from this book.
Yeah.
Well, the
It would've been
chase is from this book.
Because the way that the books are written are very classically written, if that makes sense. Oh, I guess if it makes sense. But, like, written in a particular style that's, like, known for early, like, novel writing.
Cool. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of What Do You Want to Watch? Dylan, where can people find you on Twitter and, more importantly, on Trakt.tv?
Viva la Dill. VIVALADIL.
What about you, Nick? Where can people find you at those 2 places?
Lord and Prior, LORDNPRIOR.
Cool. And you can find me those two places at Ashley Hobley. You can also follow the show at Explosion Pod on Twitter, or you can check us out on twitch.tv/Explosion Network, where me and Dylan occasionally do React reviews. They're great. Or if you can't catch them live, you can always go to youtube.com/Explosion Network, check them out, see our initial thoughts of the package, And then head over to explosionnetwork.com and read Dylan's full review of the movie. If you've got any tips or ideas, or you want to recommend a movie to do for What Did We End Up Watching, you can always send us an email at mail@explosionnetwork.com. And if you'd be so kind, leave us a review either on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser, which is also a non-Apple affiliated review site. Thank you very much for joining us this week. And until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
The Explosion Network's premier media podcast, What Do You Want to Watch, is a fortnightly show hosted by Ashley Hobley that covers the biggest stories in movies, TV, online media, and more before asking, what did we end up watching? Each episode, we discuss one particular movie or show that you can join in the discussion with by tweeting us, emailing, or posting on our Discord. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts or other podcasting services, or find the show at explosionnetwork.com. And that episode's also interesting because it shows how different Japanese people look, because he uses the same... What? What is so funny? I mean, what is so funny? I didn't even finish my sentence.
Sorry.
Is this going to have to be cut out?
I think it is.
I think it is. What is so funny?
It shows you how different Japanese people look.
I didn't finish the sentence. I was going to say, at danger.
What?
At danger.
Oh.
I didn't finish my sentence. Fucking hell, Nick.
Do you want to say the whole sentence again?
If I don't get cut off by someone laughing, because look, shows how different Japanese people there look at the dangers of stuff.